right now on 10 News at 11.
A San Diego State student now dead after an event on campus last week. The other major university suffering the same fate just days later.
A local man hit, dragged, and left to die.
I think that is a heinous act of cowardice.
The clues his clothing reveals about the hit and run.
Plus, miracle babies.
It's the best thing.
The groundbreaking fertility procedures only in San Diego, giving new hope to women who want children.
Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
His last night as a healthy SDSU freshman was spent with friends at a fraternity event. Tonight, Dylan Hernandez's life is over, leaving many to wonder what happened before he was found unconscious in his dorm room. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is live at San Diego State. And Anthony, officials are still not revealing any details about that event.
Well, no, they're not, and many students on campus also not sure what took place at this fraternity event, but they also added that it's been a very somber day on campus today. Those who knew San Diego State freshman Dylan Hernandez say he was outgoing, lighthearted, and goofy. The university sent out a notice Monday saying his family said goodbye to the 19-year-old in the hospital late Sunday.
He was always in a good mood. He was always happy.
His close friend Ciara Story lived in this residence hall on the same floor as Hernandez. She was there when he was hospitalized.
He had fallen off of his bunk bed, about like a 6-foot drop, and we later found out that he fractured his skull from that fall, but none of us knew at the time.
She says she helped put him back in his bed, and it wasn't until the next morning when she checked on him she knew something was wrong.
He was foaming at the mouth, and his lips were purple, and his ears, and his skin was yellow.
San Diego State students tell 10 News Hernandez was pledging the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity, better known as Fiji. University officials have not confirmed that, but the school says Hernandez attended a fraternity event the night he fell off his bed. University police opened an investigation that found evidence alleging possible misconduct in a fraternity. As a result, the university suspended 14 houses. Officials are tight-lipped on details, but education attorney Bob Otterly says past cases of deaths involving fraternities usually involve alcohol, and the university needs to do more to protect students.
The university suspended all 14 fraternities. Well, that's brilliant. Why? Because they're dangerous. Well, they're not any more dangerous this week than they were last week when this young man was healthy.
And we reached out to the San Diego Police Department. They tell us that they are not involved in this investigation, only university police. In the meantime, there's been a GoFundMe page started for Hernandez's family. We have a link to that on our website, 10news.com. We're reporting live tonight. Anthony Pura, 10 News.
Anthony, thank you. San Diego State is not the only university dealing with tragedy tonight. A student at Arizona State was found dead in a dorm on the Tempe campus. The young man was found this morning at the Greek Leadership Village. Now, the village houses about 950 fraternity and sorority members in a cluster of townhouses. The name and the age of that student have not been released. We will continue to update our viewers on the tragic death at San Diego State through the 10 News mobile app. There is a free version available in the App Store. Just search 10 News.
But to hit someone, leave them for dead, and drive away is a cowardly act, and I find it very despicable.
Left for dead in an alley in Del Mar, this man is now in the hospital while his friends and family work with investigators to find out who put him there. 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo spoke to the man's parents, who say their son is miraculously going to be okay.
And these yellow paint marks indicate the spot where investigators found pieces of the victim's clothing. He was eventually found here about 45 feet away from where he was hit. It's a call no parent ever wants to receive.
Been a hit and run. Ben had been hit and he'd been left lying in the alley.
Bruce Nelson's son, Ben, hit while walking home in an alley in Del Mar.
But to hit someone, leave them for dead, and drive away is a cowardly act, and I find it very despicable.
Ben was walking from Jimmy O's bar early Saturday morning.
Basically the first scene where they saw
some of his clothes and shoelaces and blood specks, and then he basically got dragged all the way to all the way here.
Now recovering at the hospital, Ben suffered a broken pelvis, fibula, tibia, and femur. Fortunately, no head or spine injuries. His friends stepping in to support his parents as their son recovers.
All the things that I was worried about, from Ben's business to his surviving to everything that goes through your mind, his friends have rallied to him, and they love him.
There are several surveillance cameras that point to the alley. Ben's father hopeful whoever hit his son will turn themselves in.
I think that is a heinous act of cowardice.
In Del Mar, Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
Ben's friends set up a fundraising page to help with his medical expenses. You can find that on our website, 10news.com. And breaking news now, this is a live look from our breaking news tracker at the gas lamp where power is just coming back on. About 1,000 customers in the gas lamp, Balboa Park, and Golden Hill areas were without power since about 8 o'clock tonight. At one point, the gas lamp sign was shut off as well. No word yet on the cause of the outage.
A new phase of the impeachment inquiry of President Donald Trump is about to begin. This week, public hearings will begin, and several key officials are expected to testify. Democrats say the case is straightforward, that President Trump abused his power and hurt American security by shaking down a key ally for his own personal political gain. Democrats want to keep the focus on the president's actions. Some Republicans are not defending what the president did, but at the same time, they do not support impeachment.
A very simple, straightforward act. The president broke the law.
I believe it was inappropriate. I do not believe it was impeachable.
You can watch the impeachment hearings live on ABC 10 starting Wednesday at 7 in the morning. That's right after 10 News at 6 a.m.
Happening tomorrow, the fate of the nearly 800,000 young people known as Dreamers will head to the Supreme Court. Tomorrow, both sides will make their arguments over the fate of DACA. That's the Obama-era program which allows people who were brought across the border as children to stay in the country and get work permits. The Trump administration has a simple argument. It says DACA is illegal and the president has the right to end it. DACA supporters say it's effective and the administration cannot eliminate it by executive order.
Firefighters worked quickly to put out a fire in a storm channel running under the 15 freeway near the 94 today. It is the latest fire believed to have been started by a homeless encampment. Our 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena shows us the challenges that firefighters and law enforcement face when it comes to spotting and stopping these fire threats.
Over the past several weeks, we've seen fires breaking out in riverbeds, trails, and even canyons just like this one. Firefighters tell us that many times they can be traced back to homeless encampments. When flames erupted in the Otay River Valley last month, those who live and work nearby say they had a pretty good idea of how it started.
That's probably the fourth fire we've had here in the past 3 months.
Guillermo Briceño owns Pacific Star Auto, which came dangerously close to being destroyed. He says he tries to report suspicious activity, but knows the encampments keep popping up.
It's really easy for a fire to get out of control.
Retired Fire Captain Bob Lyon says fighting encampment fires can be extremely difficult because many times the areas are so well hidden, it's hard to spot them until a problem arises. He says it's also a challenge just to investigate sometimes.
It's pretty dangerous going into their encampment. Some of them can be violent and they don't really like people going down in there.
Lyon tells us if you do notice potential problems, don't just call police. Also contact your local fire department.
So if you get a hold of the fire department and you can talk to their fire prevention bureaus, a lot of times they'll have brush management and they'll address those issues as far as fires go.
If you see or hear any suspicious activity that you think might lead to a fire, you're urged to call police or your local fire department. Reporting in City Heights, Lindsay Pena, 10 News.
All right, breaking news, a motorcyclist is dead after falling off his bike on Mission Center Road in Mission Valley tonight. CHP says the biker lost control of his bike, hit a guardrail, and that threw him from the bike. Southbound lanes of Mission Center Road and Camino de la Reina, they were shut down during the investigation.
Survivors of the family ambushed in the deadly attack in Mexico have left the country. They say it's no longer safe to stay at home. David Langford's wife and 2 of his children were killed in the attack. You see his son Devin next to him. Devin was in the car when the bullets started flying. Afterward, he hid his surviving siblings and hiked 14 miles home for help. Today on Good Morning America, he spoke about the massacre, sharing the last words he heard from his mother.
To get down right now, she was trying to pray to the Lord, and she's trying to start the car up to get out of there.
The FBI is now helping Mexican law enforcement with the investigation.